Okay, let's unpack this. Picture it. Lord's cricket ground. You know, the atmosphere, absolutely electric. Final ball hit, crowd just erupts. And right there, something massive happens in sport.
Yeah.
We're talking about the South African cricket team, the Proteas, finally clinching the ICC World Test Championship.
And what a moment, right? I mean, this wasn't just lifting another trophy. This was the end of something huge, a 27-year wait for a major ICC trophy.
27 years. Well, it had become part of their story, hadn't it? Wait.
Absolutely. Woven into their identity.
So our mission here in this deep dive, using the material we've got, is to really, get to grips with how significant this actually was.
Yeah, the real meaning behind it.
Exactly. We look at that long journey, the absolute drama of the final at Lord's. Who are the heroes? And crucially, what does this win mean beyond cricket for the team, the nation, maybe even for you listening, thinking about overcoming obstacles?
It's a story of, well, just not giving up, isn't it? Perseverance.
It really is. And to feel the weight of it, you have to go back. That 27-year gap wasn't just empty time. It was full of frustration, almost cruel luck sometimes.
That last big one was way back in '98, the ICC Knockout Trophy in Bangladesh. A long time ago.
Very long time. And since they came back to international cricket in '91, it's felt like this cloud followed them. So many near misses, heartbreaks.
Oh, definitely. Things that fans just don't forget.
You can't talk about South African cricket without mentioning those moments, can you? Like the '99 World Cup semifinal against Australia, that run-out.
Agonizing.
Yeah.
When it was right there for the taking. The sources really capture how deep that scar went.
And even more recently, that T20 World Cup final loss to India in 2024. So close again, just raw pain.
And that's the burden, isn't it? That tag they carried. The choker's label. It stuck. The material spells it out, 9,722 days without a major ICC trophy.
Wow.
So this dive is about figuring out how they finally shook that off. What changed this time around?
Okay, so let's zoom in. Lord's, June 11th, 2025. The scene is set. Gloomy London sky, apparently. Classic.
Right. Temba Bavuma wins the toss. Big moment. And decides to bowl first.
A brave call, maybe, on that pitch.
Should be seen that way, but wow, did the bowlers back him up. Kagiso Rabada, just breathtaking in that first innings.
Yeah.
The analysis shows he just hit his stride, the conditions, the line. Australia couldn't really handle him. 5 for 47, just immense.
A proper force of nature, that's what they called him. And Marco Jansen chipped in, too.
Yeah, the big left armor, 3 for 49. They really squeezed Australia, bowled them out for 212. Steve Smith got 66, Bo Webster 72, but it felt like they were always fighting uphill.
Okay, 212. Decent bowling effort. But then South Africa's turn to bat. And that familiar feeling starts creeping in for the fans, right?
Oh, absolutely. It was shaky. Then it just crumbled. Australia's captain, Pat Cummins, was just brilliant. He bowled incredibly well, took 6 for 41.
6 wickets. Ouch.
Yeah, South Africa all out for just 138.
So suddenly Australia have a 74-run lead. That pit-in-your-stomach dread the sources talk about must have been overwhelming. Here we go again.
You'd think so. But what seems different, looking at the material, is how this team responded. They didn't just fold completely. Australia's second innings, they didn't let them run away with it, restricted them to 207.
Still, 207 adds to the lead. Mitchell Starc apparently played a blinder down the order, 58 not out from number 9.
He did, yeah. A really crucial knock, pushed that target up, added vital runs.
But Rabada again. He wasn't done.
Not even close. He was just relentless, wasn't he? The analysis paints him as being completely in the zone the whole match. 9 wickets for 110 in the match overall. Phenomenal. The absolute rock of that bowling attack.
Incredible figures.
Yeah.
So, the final equation. South Africa need 282 to win the whole thing, and the weight.
And 282 at Lord's. Well, that's no easy task. The reports point out it was actually the second highest successful chase ever in a test match there. Over 141 years of history.
Wow. So they weren't just chasing the win, they were chasing history at the home of cricket itself. As another layer, doesn't it?
Definitely. Huge pressure. Huge significance.
And as that chase started, things actually looked pretty good by the end of day 3.
Incredibly good, yeah. They were 213 for 2, needed just 69 more runs, seemed almost comfortable.
Who was in?
The main men, Aiden Markram, playing beautifully apparently, unbeaten on 124, and the skipper, Temba Bavuma, really digging in, battling a hamstring problem too on 65 not out.
That partnership sounds crucial. 147 runs they put on.
Absolutely. The backbone of the chase, absorbed all that pressure, built momentum, looked like they were cruising.
But then, day 4. And it's never simple with South Africa, is it? that tension comes back.
It really does. The reports describe the nerves. Bavuma went fairly early, caught behind off Cummins for 66, limped off, but got a huge ovation. Real gutsy knock.
And that triggered a bit of a wobble.
Yeah, the classic wobble. Tristan Stubbs went quickly for 8. Then David Bettingham. Suddenly, wickets are falling, less than 50 needed. You can just imagine the collective gasp. That feeling of dread again.
Oh, man. History repeating. That must have been the fear.
Totally. How do you handle that? The pressure, the history, seeing wickets tumble requires real calm. Kyle Verreynne, the keeper, came in to join Markram. Job was simple. Just get it done.
And Markram, he held firm.
He was just magnificent. The descriptions call it a masterclass. Test batting under the highest pressure. Finished with 136, took 207 balls. Just immense concentration and skill. Hailed as the knock of a lifetime.
Fitting for the moment.
Absolutely. When he finally got out, he'd basically broken the back of the chase. The last few runs were knocked off pretty calmly. Verreynne finished 6 not out. Bettingham came back and got 20 not out.
And then the scenes at Lord's, just eruption.
Pure eruption, relief, joy, maybe disbelief. The material captures it all so vividly. Just a massive, massive moment.
Cathartic. And built on some incredible performances. Markram, obviously. That century is legendary now.
For sure. The batting coach apparently said he's someone for the big occasion. You saw that, didn't you? Caution, class, everything.
And Temba Bavuma, he's faced a lot of criticism, hasn't he? But here, as captain, as batsman, playing through injury.
Heart and soul. That's what comes through. That resilience, batting with the injury, but also his captaincy record leading into this 8 wins and a draw in 9 tests. He built something there.
Definitely. And Rabada, we keep mentioning him, but 9 wickets. Game-changing stuff.
Force of nature. National treasure. Delivered when it absolutely mattered most. Can't say enough about his performance.
And the coach, Shukri Conrad, gets mentioned too.
Yeah, the report suggests he was key in building that team spirit, that resilience, getting them over the line mentally.
So let's talk about the deeper meaning then, because this wasn't just about the trophy, the mace. It was about finally getting rid of that choker's tag.
Exactly. It had haunted them for so long, maybe unfairly, but it was always there. This win could genuinely change things. We saw Mark Boucher quoted, hoping this WTC title might resuscitate Test cricket back in South Africa, given a real boost.
That's interesting. And Graham Smith apparently saw this coming, said earlier in the year they were close to something special.
Seems he had a feeling. And, you know, practically speaking, there's the prize money too. The ICC doubled it this year, $3.6 million for the winners. Not insignificant.
True. Glory and cash, always a good combo. It's also worth, just for a second, looking at it from Australia's side, losing a final like this is, well, it's unusual for them.
Very rare. They're so used to winning the big ones. First ICC final loss in 15 years, apparently. They've been so dominant.
Yeah, World Cups, T20s, the last WTC, they expect to win. So this must hurt. Though, you know, Cummins bowled well, Stark fought hard, Smith got runs.
Absolutely. They competed hard.
Yeah.
But like the reports say, South Africa were just sharper on the day. More resolute. Deserved it.
And it fits into this wider picture in 2025 sports, doesn't it? This year of ending long waits, breaking curses.
It really does seem to be a theme. Right. Newcastle United ending their 70-year wait for a domestic trophy.
Crystal Palace, 120 years for their first major title.
And RCB in the IPL finally winning after 18 years. Like 2025 was the year for the long-suffering fans.
South Africa just joined the party, and this win underlines why the WTC matters, right? It gives every test series that extra edge, that context.
Totally. It's a culmination. South Africa's path, winning 8 of 12 tests, sweeping teams at home. They earned their spot.
And the reaction back home must have been incredible.
Oh, the reports paint a picture of pure joy. Bars packed, brays going vuvuzelas. You could almost hear it. Social media just exploding with relief and pride, celebrating Markram, Bavuma, Rabada, celebrating finally ditching that awful tag.
Just pure, unadulterated celebration, something to unite around after so long.
Absolutely.
So what now? Looking ahead for the Proteas, this feels like a massive springboard.
It has to be, right? Especially with the 2027 World Cup coming up at home. The big challenge now, as the material points out, is building on it. Finding that consistency that the really top teams have. Yeah. Blending the youth, we saw Stubbs, Verreynne, with the established stars like Rabada. That's the key. And they don't get much rest. Straight into a tour of England against India. That'll be a massive test right away.
Yeah.
Can they keep this level up?
Well, looking back at all this material, it's clear this is more than just a cricket story. It's about sheer perseverance, isn't it? Resilience. Rewriting a story that seems set in stone.
Against all the historical weight, yeah. And doing it at Lord's, just adds that extra bit of magic that's significant.
It really does. And it makes you think, doesn't it, about overcoming those really long-standing hurdles we all face, maybe not in sport, but in life. How much of it is belief? How much is grit? And maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of timing or luck involved in finally breaking through.
It's a powerful thought. Resonates way beyond the boundary ropes.